I'm Irvin Poff. Partially, I'm Irvin R., but for everything official, it's just Irvin Poff. I will be 103 as of April 25th this year. So I'm 102 in 10 months. I originally was born in Missouri, stayed only until I finished University of Missouri, and then moved to Texas for a job with the Department of Agriculture. And had 34 years when I retired at 55 in 1974. I lived single since my wife died in February of 3 years ago. And so I'm by myself, but I see 2 or 3 of my neighbors and have a chance to talk with them most every day. So I'm not by myself that much, and it's important, particularly as you get older, to have some immediate friends and contact with people. That's a part of being able to stay and live at this kind of age. I have enjoyed retirement because in retirement I had a bunch of hobbies. I could do most anything on the house or a car, and I decided when I moved to California I would not work for anybody else. And so I told my wife, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to stay busy so that I can wake up every morning and decide then what I'm going to do that day. I worked on a lot of cars. Originally worked on Volkswagen Bugs, rebuilding those that had quit running and fixing them up to where they looked almost new. And this allowed me to work when I wanted to work and not work when it didn't work. After those became hard to get and not as popular, the popular car was the little pickup. And so I worked on, 10 or 15 of those, along with some other cars as they came up that I thought were valuable to rebuild. In doing that, I didn't do motor work in the way of internal thing. I usually bought a long block and put the parts on it and changed over from one like that in all of them. But I did the painting jobs, I did the upholstery jobs, and made them essentially looking like new. And this allowed me to take a $300 car or a $500 car and make it a $2,300 car or $2,500 car. Oh yes, I still drive. I had my driver's license when I was 100, so my driver's license runs until I'm 105. I drive a Ford Focus, kind of unusual, I think, for 103. I like a little bit of a sporty car. They finally got the transmission exactly right, and it does good for my purposes. I don't need a Mustang. I have a belief that exercise is necessary every day. I have some health problems, but they're problems that I can deal with. I think exercise has to be scheduled. As a retiree, I don't like schedules, but that I believe in. I have an exercise machine, sort of like a rowing machine. I go those 40 repetitions before breakfast every morning. After breakfast, 90% of the time, I walk times around my block, which means that's about 2/3 of a mile. I walk relatively quickly because I need to stimulate my heart and lungs and get them operating regularly. I take care of myself, feed myself well with a variety of foods, and as I always say, everything in moderation is good, and that's mostly the case.